Okay, so now we're testing a really complicated soap we just made for the custom order. And I still haven't fixed my mold. Oh, wait, there we go, I got it. So basically the soap went pretty well. I like how easy it was to cut and everything, but I did make a mistake of not stamping it before putting it in the food dehydrator, so it didn't end up stamping very well. Oh well. It trimmed up quite nicely. Very good soap, best as I can tell. I'm not sure why, but I'm kind of brain dead on what to say. I'm like, oh yeah, it's soap. I like it. It lathers. Yeah, it's a cold, rainy day, so I'm making a video. Makes sense, right? Alright, now that that's done, what I'm going to try to do here is, I quoted the customer size that I went and measured off of our electric soap cutting machines, and I'm trying to get the bar to the right dimensions. I kind of fail because it's really hard to measure wires. I end up having to try again here in a second because it just doesn't work out right. Because as you go to measure these thin wires, they kind of move. So I got my my measurements slightly off, and we go through that here in a bit. But basically, it's supposed to be a 3-ounce bar, and it ended up being like a 4-ounce bar. So that was the whole debacle here for me with this batch, was simply just the size. But I decided to go with it at this point here and just put it in the food dehydrator to move on to the next step, because I totally failed with the chopping it down right. And I was a little pressed for time that day, so I just moved on. I decided to mark the bar that I cut with a T as like for test, for the size test. I left it in there for a day. It was about 125, 130 degrees. And it only dropped to 3.9. So I'm just going to keep moving on with the test here. We're going to do the lather test and the pH test. I've got lots of bubbles, so that's good. I was kind of surprised about that because I read that the butters would decrease the lather, but as it turned out, there was enough coconut oil in it and whatnot to still have a good lather. Alright, and the pH test turned out perfect. 8 to 9, somewhere in there. The soap is still a little bit soft because it was recently out of the food dehydrator, so didn't fully cool down. And this was my melting point one. It was totally melted just under the crust in there, so I decided it was probably about 165 degrees when it starts melting. I decided not to print the full-on stamp with the handle like I normally do because I really couldn't see myself using this one. And since I'm sort of footing the bill for this, I'm taking the extra bars to the festival to try and sell them, so I had to stamp them with something. Because this is actually just being done so I can send her the 1 bar, and she can test it out and see if she approves. The 1 bar that's the test bar, I'm not stamping. I really should have done the stamping right away, but I didn't have the stamp printed, and yeah, so it's just not turning out as well. The stamps do best before the soap is dried. Okay, so this is the cutter for the electric cutters we have down in the soap room. We've never actually used this particular size because even though it's the same weight as the bars we make, it's a considerably different shape. So I'm going to try to push this through and see if I can get her an accurate representation of what this is going to be like. Yeah, it was kind of hard to push through at this point because it was cooled off and it was hardened. But I think that's a lot closer there. Let's put it on the scale. No. Okay, I guess I did something else first. I wanted to see if there was any way I could push it through this cutter, but as you can see, it's made to be pushed through blocks, like mega blocks, so you can't really do just one bar, especially on this one, because they just move all over the place. But I kind of wanted to see how off I was on the thickness anyway. And not very much. I know I can't get this cut through straight, so I just decided to weigh it and leave it because it was a little over 3 ounces, but this is a lot closer than what I had before of what it'll be coming off of these machines. .3 ounces. So that's basically the big boggle, the only thing I was thinking about while doing this. So I decided to just wrap it up and get it ready for shipment out with the next business day's packages, which should be Monday because this is Friday. So I totally dropped the tape here. I was really annoyed with myself. Let it stick back to itself. I hate it when that happens. But anyway, so then that's how we ship a bar of soap. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.